but this is a belief system that many of our Reformed audience members are not fond of, and that's provisionism. That's Leighton Flowers has made popular. And they're wondering, is provisionism heresy, i.e., their views that our sin nature doesn't carry any penalty in and of itself, and that they deny total inability, two things even Wesleyans don't deny.
I have never heard of this. I don't know what provisionism is.
Gotcha.
Can you explain that a little more to me?
It's a soteriological view that has been made popular by a man named Leighton Flowers,
I've never
and
heard of him.
it leans Arminian. It's Arminian for the most part, but they do disagree with Arminians on a couple things. Like classical Arminianism affirms total inability,
Yeah.
whereas provisionism does not. Um, so there's little nuances that are different between Arminianism and provisionism, but it's essentially a form of Arminianism.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not Arminian, but I did write an essay on prevenient grace in the Arminian system. And it is true that Wesley clearly held to total depravity and total inability. And I think that's just clearly taught in Scripture. I think Wesley was right on that. Any view that would depart from that, I think, would have serious problems. I think it's clear. I just say, what does the Scripture say? I think it's clear from Romans chapter 5, verses 12 through 19, that all people enter the world as babies, condemned, and as sinners before God. I mean, Paul says it 5 times. The sin of the one man made us sinners. The sin of the one man, we're condemned. I think the best reading of that is it's a covenantal federal view. Adam's our covenant head. And really, this has been the view of the church. Most of the church, I'm including Catholics here throughout history, that original sin is a reality. And Paul connects it to being guilty, right? He doesn't just say you're a sinner. He also says you're condemned. So any notion that we enter into this world innocent, that's just not a biblical notion. I know that bothers people, but I would say 2 things. God, the human race is an organic unity. We're not, we're very individualistic, like, hey, that's not fair. But God doesn't conceive of us as separated from our ancestors. Adam and Eve are our mom and dad, so to speak. What our mom and dad did affected us. That's the way God set up the world. Secondly, I would say what G.K. Chesterton said: original sin is the most empirically verifiable of all Christian doctrines. It's clear that people entering the world are sinners. That we see it with children, and just read history, right? Just read the I guess the internet now for news. I guess some people still read newspapers and magazines, but it's all over the place. So, any view that departs from Arminianism, that is, and is even more Arminian, if you can talk that way, I think is not going to be a good view. But I'll have to look at who this Leighton Flowers is. I never heard of him. So
it's growing in popularity a lot in the YouTube world, which is the world we've been living in. So
okay.